Hello, and welcome back to the Holistic Hatha Yoga podcast. I am your host, Kelsey, and I'm here to talk about all things Hatha Yoga today. I hope this month is treating you well. I cannot believe we're already halfway through, basically, April, and we are on our way towards summer. I'm so excited. I'm so stinking excited. I spent a lot of my day raking out my gardens and stuff today, and that felt amazing. And it was nice to see some new growth and get rid of some of the old gunk. Even though the old gunk was very helpful and made everything fertile, it was nice to pull it away and just kind of let everything grow now. So I feel very much like that. I feel like I've just been trudging in gunk, but it's not bad gunk. It's helped me be more fertile or well-rounded, whatever you want to call it. Not fertile, that sounds weird, but in terms of like the garden is now more fertile because it had all of the dead leaves and things on it all winter long and blah 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 blah. So sometimes, most times, the gunk has something to give us or to teach us or to strengthen us or to give us a fresh perspective on something or a new perspective on something. So anyway, welcome to the podcast. This week we are going to talk about just some morning rituals for overall wellness, I guess, or holistic wellness, whatever you want to call it. And this doesn't necessarily have to be morning. It's not like, and also like when I say rituals, it's not like you wake up and you do the same thing every single morning and like, this is your uninterrupted hour of blah, blah, blah. Because like, quite frankly, that's not real life. And if that is your real life, I'm jealous and tell me how you do it, I guess. But, truly like, yeah, especially as a mom of three, I'm not waking up before them and doing all of these, like a bazillion things before they wake up so that I have, my me time. Like, that's not really happening. I get woken up by them being like, hey, let's get up, and so, and I start my day that way most days. But that doesn't mean that you can't weave these things into your everyday life, even though it doesn't look like someone sitting up an hour before sunrise doing deep meditation and breathing in asana all before 5 a.m. or whatever. Like, that's beautiful, and there's a beautiful time and place for that too, I think. But I am not in that time and place. So, let's just dive into it. I think the biggest, one of my favorite Ayurvedic tips and tricks for a daily ritual is a tongue scraper. If you don't have a copper tongue scraper, I think you really should invest in one. So they can be very budget friendly. They're like, I don't know, probably like $14.99 or something for a good one, or maybe $10.99 at like the lowest rate. I think the one I got was maybe $16.99 or $20.99. I don't know. And I'm talking about US dollars, and $20.99, not 2,000 and some dollars. Like, no, it's not what we're doing here. We're not having like Gucci tongue scrapers. We just have normal tongue scrapers. But the tongue is a very telling way, a very telling organ or thing, I guess, in Ayurveda, because they do an assessment of your health initially by looking at your tongue. And according to Ayurveda, the specific spots on your tongue that have like discharge or like more bacteria or like what quote unquote like white stuff or whatever you want to call it, whatever areas have more of anything growing there, they like use that to diagnose. And so it's like, oh, if it's in the far back of the tongue, it relates to the intestinal lining. And if it's, on the sides, it relates to something else and blah, 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 blah. And I'll try to I'll link something in the show notes that shows like a diagram of the tongue and then like what each area corresponds to. Um, because it's super interesting when you look at it. And I'm convinced that I have something weird going on in my gut because I always have stuff at the very back of my tongue. And so I'm like, oh, what is this? So I'm still trying to figure that out. My next step actually to figure that out is I'm going to be taking some like worm medicines, some different worm medicines. So, like parasite worm type stuff. Because that could easily be something that's like showing up in my GI tract, as far as um, on my tongue and whatnot. So, uh, yeah, so I'm gonna try that. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. If I see anything, I'm gonna really try not to look, but if I do see anything, I'll let you know. I've never done a parasite cleanse, so this shall be interesting. Um, But yeah, so anyway, every day it's just basically part of my teeth brushing routine. Um, I uh, brush my teeth. I do my copper tongue scraper, or sometimes vice versa. Sometimes I start off with my tongue scraper and then I brush my teeth, but whatever, does not matter. And then I floss and rinse everything out and whatever. But the tongue scraper is huge. Like I find it just as necessary to do daily as brushing my teeth, as flossing. Like it's part of that oral health that I could not imagine living without. And I think if you try it, you'll be like, oh my God, what was I doing my whole life? Because, like, I don't know about you, but in the United States, basically we're just taught to brush our tongue with our toothbrush, which is fine, I guess. It, like, somewhat does the job, but it doesn't do as good of a job. It is disgusting, the things you can pull off of your tongue first thing in the morning. And so, Ayurvedic wise, it's best to do this tongue scraping before you even drink anything. So, in Ayurveda, they have studied to come to understand that when we sleep, our body is repairing itself. As scientifically, we do know this now, or like science backs this up, I guess. Um, and then two, like because our body is in this repair mode and stuff, a lot of toxins are released and or trying to get filtered out through our body. During this time and into the morning. And so it's really important in the morning that any of the stuff that gets expelled out into our tongue overnight and or that might grow onto our tongue overnight um, gets pulled off of the tongue prior to drinking or intaking anything because you don't want to then like swallow that bacteria basically is the idea. And so the idea is to do the tongue scraping before consuming drinking any water or eating any food. um and so I do try to abide by that most days if I can. So um yeah, I love a copper tongue scraper. I like to find these. I got one from Living Well with Dr. Michelle. Dr. Michelle is a dentist based in Utah in the U.S. and she had a really amazing tooth powder that I love. And then like I ended up she had those as like the copper tongue scrapers as well, and I also wanted a replacement of my own. And so I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. So I got one from her. But you can literally find them anywhere. Um I'll again link it in the show notes, but like I even just searched on Etsy quick before this episode of like tongue scrapers, specifically copper. And so copper has great benefits and it's like a natural antibacterial. So like it's a great metal for using as a tongue scraper because um bacteria won't grow on it like as you're using it. Like obviously you rinse it off and like clean it and stuff, but copper is a great metal to be using for that. So just search copper tongue scraper on Etsy, and I'm sure you'll find a bunch that are somewhat local or close to you that you can get. So yes, try that out. So that's the first one I will say that I cannot live without. The next one is lemon ginger water or like lemon ginger tea, whatever you want to call it. It's not really tea, it's like herbal tea. Um, 'Cause yeah, there's a difference. I don't know. Um, Whenever people say tea, I obviously just think of black tea, and so I want people to realize that I'm not talking about drinking black tea. I'm talking about drinking just hot water with lemon and ginger in it. And you can add some honey in there too if you want some sweetness as well. But that is a really great morning drink for your body. It starts the body on a um, alkaline, I believe. That's like the more acidic level. Um, and that just helps your digestive system. It helps prep your stomach for food, and it's a great cleanser of the digestive system. Um, so yeah, lemon ginger tea is amazing. Lemon ginger honey tea is amazing. No shade on the honey. Honey's also got amazing properties and stuff. Lots of both antimicrobial, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties. And it's great to drink honey if you have sinus issues, especially if it's local honey, because it has like the pollens and the allergens within it. And so it's kind of supposed to act almost like when people go and get like allergy shots, where you get like micro doses of that allergy to try and build your tolerance. Same thing with that, same idea with like the honey, or having local honey if you have bad sinus issues. So lemon ginger honey tea. If you can do real lemon, real ginger. By real, I mean like freshly squeezed lemon, and um for ginger, like actual just chopped ginger root tossed in there. I love ginger root, and I love chomping on it after drinking, like after drinking all of the water, and there's like the bits of ginger in the bottom. Oh my God, it's delicious. Just like chomp, 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 and it's just yummy and spicy, and again, just so good for your system. So, um, that was like one thing I absolutely loved about my yoga teacher trainings is like we would wake up brutally early, like 4 a.m., and we'd be in the garden by 4:30 doing our neti pots. And so that is the next one I was going to get to is neti pots. That's not one I do daily or even weekly, but I definitely recommend having one and using them maybe bi-weekly or monthly, whatever you feel like you need. Probably more so in like the um more like polleny seasons, so spring or fall. And summer sometimes can be brutal too. So depending on your allergies and whatever, neti pots can be really helpful. But anyway, we would do our neti pots, and then we would have there was like lemon ginger tea pre-made ready for us, and they were just all in these little glasses everywhere, and you just grab one and move on, and then we'd be up in our yoga shala by 5 and have yoga practice from like asana practice from, and not just all asana, but yoga practice from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. So we'd do asana for the first hour, and the second hour would be pranayama mostly, and then we'd do half hour of meditation in the evening. Anyway, I absolutely adored having lemon ginger tea water ready for me every single morning, like without having to lift a finger, just like having to crawl out of bed and come down, and it's just sitting there waiting for me, and I'm just like, yay, 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 yay. But it was absolutely amazing. So I highly recommend that. I can hardly ever find ginger root around me. I need to look harder is what I need to do. And I also just need to grow it. I need to like see what it is to harvest it. And it worked in the springtime, so I think now is my time to shine. So I think I'm going to take this little herb garden that's like totally overgrown with moss and revamp it and turn it into a little ginger garden and try to harvest a bunch of ginger root. So wish me luck on that adventure. So yeah, I do love that, and that's a really great thing for your body, and it comes from Ayurvedic medicine and just daily or general health. Um, the next thing is, yeah, as I alluded to, neti pots. If you don't know what that is, it's a pot that you pour. It's like it looks like a teapot, but it's kind of a more of a elongated shape and it's smaller. And the idea is that you pour it through one nostril of your nose and it comes and leaks through the other side and like drains out that side, and then you do the other side. Um, and it is amazing. It is amazing, and it feels really funky at first, but as soon as you figure it out and you can like let that water flow, it is really quite incredible, and a really great cleansing technique. Um, like I said, we did it daily for 6 weeks, and I was not mad about it. And for that, you just, they sell like tablets of like neti pot solution tablets for each neti pot, and it's like 99 cents per time you do it or something. You truly don't have to do that. You can literally just use saline water. And I don't even mean to go buy saline water and do that. You can literally just make salt water at home. Just like literally water with some salt in it. Um, and when we asked our teacher how much salt we put in the water, and they said enough to make it taste like tears. So there you go. I thought that was a really funny, uh, like explanation or like, uh, I don't know, description, I guess. Like, make it taste like your tears. And it's like, oh, okay, cool. Couldn't have said like the ocean or something. Maybe the ocean might be a little bit too salty. I don't know. So anyway, so just dabs the salt, taste it a little bit, see if it tastes like your tears. And if it does, great. And you want it to be like lukewarm. You don't want it to be obviously overly hot because the inside of your nostrils is very tender. And you do not want to do any damage there. So you obviously don't want it to be hot by any means. Warm is probably even a stretch. I would say like lukewarm um, is fine, and that is a great cleansing technique. So, especially if you have trouble with allergies, it can be really good to do even like every other day or something like that. Give it a shot. You could do this in the shower if you want to make it like as least messy as possible. Like I said, we all did this in the garden, so it was always I always thought it was so funny. And like I always wished there was like a camera there videotaping all of this because it was just like this big building that we all lived in. It was like 3 stories and it was like U-shaped, and on the inside of the U is a courtyard, and all of our doors, it was all just these individual like little suites that are just like a room with a bathroom attached to them. And so each of these little doors open up to this courtyard. And so yeah, every single day, right around 4:15, 4:30, all these doors would start opening up and people would crawl on down to the courtyard, and it was like to be so serene and whatever. But yeah, everyone's just like basically blowing mucus and just like like being wild, like pouring like water through their nose. Eventually, we got good at it, and there wasn't like as much noise as it all happened. But it was still just funny to like be dumping all this water through your nose into the garden. Like we were just standing outside doing it all, and everyone's just standing together doing it, and it was just very very silly. And then yeah, we'd go grab our lemon ginger honey water and go on up and get moving with our day. So yeah, the neti pots are also a staple to have at home as far as overall holistic health, and really easy ways to take care of our health um, prior to falling ill. Because if you haven't noticed, that's kind of the gist here. The gist is like as long as you're taking care of these things, like it's a lot easier to maintain health than it is to come back from disease, Not to say that you can't come back to disease and that there aren't ways to holistically come back from disease, but it's also a lot easier to maintain systems while they're good instead of trying to pull them out of the ditch. So, yeah, these are all great ways to just kind of, maintain that system. By all means, they're not cures to any specific diseases, but these things will help our daily health, and to help us do that. So, moving on, the next thing, number 4 here, um, from the just from the Ayurvedic world, Hatha yoga world, Eastern religion world, Eastern philosophy world. 3 sun salutations a day is really great. So, like, even if that's your only yoga practice or movement practice that day, I applaud you because that's amazing. And it takes literally less than 5 minutes to do 3 sun sals. So, you could stretch that out and make it last 10 minutes, but it really could only take a few. So sun salutations are great because they just move our whole body from top to bottom. They're amazing for our spinal health. Um, BKS Iyengar, he was like a famous yoga teacher within the last 50 years or whatever, and he recently passed away. When I say recent, it's like 2013 or 14 maybe. Maybe it was before that, but I feel like it was right around there. Anyway, he would always say that you can tell someone's health by the movement or flexibility of their spine. And so, like, if your spine was not flexible, like, your health was probably starting to be not great either. And so I loved that analogy because looking around, it is so true. And, like, as long as you do keep good movement throughout your body and ample movement throughout your joints, and can keep your body mobile in all your joints as um, basically as having full rotation of all joints is really kind of the goal. So being able to fully rotate your shoulders and your wrists and all of the things, elbows, knees, hips, everything. Because that helps us keep that optimum health. So the 3 sun sals is great because um, it gets our whole body moving up and down, all around, everywhere. And it keeps that spine supple and keeps it going. So even if that's all you have time for, that's an amazing thing and that's an amazing feat. Um, I also want to bring up lymph node health because I feel like the lymph system is like the most forgotten about, misunderstood system in our bodies. And most of the time when I say lymph system, people are like, is that a disease? Like, what? Should I have one? Should I not have it? Is that good or bad? And I'm like, no, this is a system within our body. Come on, people. And so we have our circulatory system, obviously, which is like our blood. And our circulatory system has a pump, and that pump is called our heart. And our heart has arteries which go away from the heart, and so that brings fully oxygenated blood to the body, into the cells, into the organs, into all the places. And so the heart pumps blood through the lungs away from there where it gets oxygenated in the lungs, like through the blood capillaries that enter around the alveoli in the lungs, which I talked about last week. So if you don't know what alveoli are, go back to last week's episode where I talk about the little cute grape-like structures that help us maintain oxygen levels within the body. Anyway, so the arteries take the blood away towards all the extremities where we need oxygen to make our cells work at an optimum. And then our veins bring the blood that has carbon dioxide and stuff, or carbon monoxide, because then it actually reaches onto another carbon atom, and then they do a CO2 situation, and then we breathe it out. But anyway, the veins don't really have a pump. And so, like, yes, they're kind of part of the circulatory system, as part of, like, they bring the blood back to the heart, but they don't really have, like, the pushing behind them that the artery blood does. It's kind of more of a passive situation, and this is where body movement and walking and being active has so much to do with our heart health and our overall health, because we do need to be moving in order for the vein blood to make its way back to the heart in a healthy and rhythmic way. And so the lymph nodes work the same way that the veins do. So the lymph node system is a drainage system that goes throughout our entire body, and any toxins that are in the body that are happening, basically that our body's like breaking apart toxins and trying to get rid of the bad stuff, all that bad stuff flows into the lymph system, where it all kind of filters through the lymph nodes, where things get, bacteria gets killed, all sorts of things. Our immunity can get kicked on through here, and we can filter out all these toxins through our lymph system. And so, but again, our lymph system doesn't have a pump. It doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have an organ that is pushing the fluid through it. The system, or the way that it works, is through muscular contraction. So again, through full body muscular contraction, because again, we're talking about our full body here. So that means feet, toes, like legs, arms, fingers, forearms, spine, everything needs to be moving or move around quite a bit throughout the day in order for that system to work at an optimum. Which, if you think about evolution and just how we've gotten here, we've had to do a lot of fucking moving and shaking in order to stay alive. And so it's only now, into the most recent 200 years, 150 years even. I'll even shorten that to the last 100 years, that we've really gotten more of a chance to have a sedentary lifestyle, where people are actually getting sick from being so sedentary, when in the past that wasn't an option. You had to gather, you had to keep moving, you had to literally keep moving in order to stay alive. You had to hunt those antelope, you had to follow the herd, you had to gather the food or the berries, you had to chop the wood and carry the water and all of the things just for simple survival. And we don't have to do nearly that amount of physical labor in order to survive on the day to day. And so our bodies are really getting the hit because they don't get the movement that they require in order to stay at an optimum working level. So even just 3 sun salutations a day can really help move everything throughout your body and at least get stuff flowing in the right direction. Which leads me into the next one. This is number 5. Walking daily is also just part of this. And that's whether just it's through your house or around the block or whatever. Walking daily and getting some sunshine and some fresh air is completely necessary. It's sad that I even have to say that, honestly. I feel like other countries, they live outside a lot more than Americans do, and a lot of people are inside a lot. And so, me as a Michigander coming out of the winter time, I spent so much time outside today, and I was so happy about it. But that's because we've been cooped up inside all day. But even so, I did try my best to get out a lot this winter, even when I didn't want to and it was very cold. So even just going for a little bit of a walk, suiting up, putting on all the snow gear that you need to, whatever you have to do to be comfortable, just going for a walk is perfect. Bonus points if you can take a friend, a family member, or a furry family member. Um, yeah, I love my dog walks. Anyway, the next one I wanted to touch on is just I felt like I had to touch on this, but just like a 5-minute meditation or breathing or prayer, whatever sounds easiest to you. Any and all of those, you can rotate through it, whatever, whatever you feel you need. 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops for morning of just as far as just trying to get started and get your day going. 10 minutes is totally fine. 5 minutes is totally fine. 10 minutes bonus points. Like I said, I have 3 kids who are like demanding all the things. So like, and not like in a bad way. Like, but they just, yeah, they require care. So getting 10 minutes alone is sometimes a feat, but I also have them join me sometimes and that works out well too. Um, but, even if you can do this morning and bonus points if you can do this morning and night, I think it's really important to do, um, prayer at night and in the morning. And by prayer, I just mean like gratitude, setting intentions, being mindful about what you're aiming for within your day and what you're grateful for and all the things. Um, yeah. Uh, I only have a few more here. I know I keep numbering them. I felt like this was going to be a short list of like 3 things. That's really what I intended. And then like here we are and we're like, I don't even know how many things into it, but I'm here for it. So I guess I'm just going to keep on yapping. So the next one I wanted to touch on is pretty simple too. And this one is just, honoring your circadian rhythm. So I feel like um, this isn't even necessarily yogic, but, getting the proper sleep for your body because I feel like, again, for some reason, Americans just totally disregard sleep health. And I feel like maybe it's from the past, like hustle grind mentality of like go, go, go. You can sleep when you're dead. You only live once, like just party hardy, go all night type stuff. And it's like, no, that is detrimental and just no. Like, sure, every now and then have fun, whatever, but like truly for your best cellular health, get your sleep, man. Get your sleep. Also, try to limit screen time before bed, and that's both on the phones, computers, televisions, anything. I am an avid reader, so I highly suggest reading a real book, not like, oh, well, I read the news on my phone, or like I read things online, or like, no, not on a device, not on a lit screen. I have an old Kindle. I love it so much, and I hope it never dies. Um, I've had it since literally 2011, and it's 2026 now. So I've had that thing for 15 years, and it's amazing. It's one of like the original Kindles that was made with uh, no backlight to it, and the screen is all just like ink that like rearranges itself. And it's really amazing technology in my opinion. And so yes, it's black and white. There's no color on it, which is also really funny. It sounds like so, like my kids would say old school. They're like, it's an old school one because it doesn't have color and like blah, blah, blah. And like the new Kindles are like basically iPads. And so like I refuse to get a new Kindle because like I don't even honestly I've been reading a really long book on my Kindle right now, and like I love the book, but I'm like really kind of sad that I bought it on the Kindle because again I do love holding a book and I love the tactile situation with it. And so I think there's something really grounding and calming in that. So as I finish up this book on my Kindle, I've got the next one already bought on the Kindle, so I will read that on there because why not? But I have a stack of books, physical books as well. So I think I'm going to take a break from that series for a minute, read a few physical books, and then jump back into my Kindle. But yeah, so like reading at night is great. Or just meditating and breathing at night, doing your breathing practices at night, doing prayer at night. Journaling at night is a great thing. Um, I like to journal, like, my troubles and try and get that off your mind. And not even like, let me think of my troubles, but it's like, if something's bothering me, I like to write it out. Because usually, like, the answer comes out within that. So that's really nice and helpful to, like, be settled on that situation before bed, whatever it might be. And then also just to reflect on the gratitude again, just to be like, and I'm really grateful for this, and I'm excited for that, and looking forward to tomorrow because X, Y, and Z, and yay, good night, and it just ends your night on a really great note. So, way better than like binging a series of whatever. So, don't get me wrong, I do love to binge whatever and watch my comfort shows and whatever, but also I I do require myself to turn that off at least an hour before bedtime so that I do have time to wind down without that. Also, there's science to back that up. Like, and if you don't know that already, like, where the fuck have you been? Been hiding under a rock? Like, come on. The whole blue light thing fucks up your circadian rhythm when you're looking at these brightly lit screens. And basically, it's kind of like keeping your brain active because your brain's like, oh, we're supposed to be awake. It's daytime. And it's not. It's nighttime and you're supposed to be winding down. So these are also the same people who are usually like, but I'm never tired at night, so I just watch TV all night. And it's like, that's why you're not tired, because you're watching the fucking screen. Like, come on now. Like, this is elementary shit, friends. So again, I just wanted to bring that up because it's a very, very important one that people should be abiding to if they're not already. So the next one is kind of back. The last ones have all kind of been physical. This one's more of a mental one, and this is just practicing awareness. And that's noticing when we're heightened, whether in a good or a bad way. And then acting mindfully and not rationally. Or not rationally. That's funny. I should put that on the t-shirt. Act mindfully, not rationally. But I meant to say act mindfully, not reactionally. Um, because when we're in a heightened state, we can react. We can be very reactionary, meaning one thing happens that we perceive as negative, and so we react typically, usually in an equally negative way, whether it's a defense or an attack or running away. We usually meet that in its own whatever that we meet that reaction, whether it's negative or positive. Someone comes to you super happy and like, hey, this, and you're like, ah, yeah, because you're meeting the reaction. Someone comes at you like, hey, motherfucker, you're like, yo, wanna go? Like, come on, like which is not good. So like, again, we don't want to react. We want to act mindfully. So when we feel that heightened state, when we're like, yeah, I'll fight you, it's like, no, no, no. We want to act mindfully. Like, actually, time out. What's going on? What's the beef? What's happening? And like, it's more okay. I would say it's more okay to act in a positive way because it's fun to be excited. And that's what we're here for. I'm not telling everyone to just lose your joy and like, don't be excited about life. That's lame. And some of my feisty people out there are probably saying the same thing about anger, or what I'm saying about the whole negativity, being like, no, well, like anger works too. But I heard something at an AA meeting the other day, and they said anger is one letter away from danger, and I thought that was really cool. Like I was just like, oh, you know what? That's kind of true because things can get dangerous when you're angry, not only for others but for yourself, and then not only for like the situation, but also just on a body level. So it's just not good for your body. Cortisol is not good for your body. Um, not in heavy doses all the time, at least. It's good when we need it, but we don't need it all the time. So, I just see so many people who do act reactionally, especially in this day and age, especially the fucking political climate we're looking at right now. It's like, oh my dear fucking Lord. If people would just act mindfully, truly mindfully, and from a place of goodness, like there would be no issues. So that's very obvious where the evil lies. Anyway, that's all I'll say and move on to the next one. I've only got a couple more for us before I'm wrapping up. This next one is a fun one, and I've been experimenting with this for the last couple years. But body oils, this is kind of back to a physical aspect, something you can physically do. I gave up lotion, like buying lotion from like body lotion from a store, um, years ago, and I will never go back, and I love it. And so, I actually wrote an article about this in, um, Wellness Magazine or, uh, Time for Health, Time for Wellness. I need to look it up. I'll I'll just link it in the show notes. Anyway, about this recipe of my body butter specifically that I make. But I recently made a body lotion that I really love too. And maybe I will make a blog post of that recipe and share it with you. But I mainly used, shea butter, jojoba oil, sweet almond oil, and grapeseed oil. And in using these oils, and then I use a little bit of essential oils to scent it. And also because some essential oils are great for your skin as well. So, I use, lavender and rose essential oils, um, because they're great for your skin and they are also lovely to smell. So, I use body oils pretty much every day. Like I discussed also in past episodes, I'm a Vata Pitta dosha, and so mostly Vata and a little bit Pitta. So Vata is the air element in the ether one. So my skin does tend to lean itself towards the dry, and so if I don't lotion up, if I don't use body oils, like I am not in a good state. I have very ashy skin. So if you're in that realm, this might help you. Um, if you tend to be on the drier skin. But the thing I love about using body oils is that one, it limits dirty products. So that was part of my problem was a lot of the lotions I saw had all sorts of random shit in them and alcohol and all the stuff where it's like it just dries out my skin and I don't enjoy it. No, thank you. And so I was sick of it. So I just finally made one. And I played around with ratios and I finally found one I really, really love. And it works well for my skin. So play around and see what works well for you. And yeah, and it's also way cheaper and it's way better for me and it's non-GMO and all organic and it's great. So I highly, highly suggest that. But this, goes back to Ayurveda as far as they recommend body oils, especially for Vata or Pitta doshas, because it helps keep the skin dry, or not dry, supple and moist and all the other words that people hate. um, but it's also great because I love to use this time as a kind of a self-love and, also just physiologically, it's a great lymph node massager. So as you like rub this oil all over your entire body and you're kind of doing one area at a time, you're moving your whole body, and two, you're like pressing your hands and stuff, and you can even like massage too a little bit, like squeeze as you do it, like squeeze your calves, squeeze your ankles, squeeze your feet, squeeze your knees, squeeze your thighs and your hips, and like all, and just your arms, like all the places as you are rubbing in these body oils, to help with lymph circulation and to help with drainage and to help with just whole body health. And so, dry brushing is also a thing. That's more of like an Ayurvedic technique where you use like a soft body brush and kind of like exfoliate your skin. Um, I actually need to get one. I need to get a body brush. So I will find one, and when I do, I will let you know if I like it. I have a feeling I'm gonna love it, but I don't have one currently, and I need one. So, but I do love doing the body oils and the body massage pretty much daily. So that's part of my morning ritual as well, as far as as well as the tongue scraping, like a lemon ginger tea. And also, I'm a coffee person, and I do love Earl Grey tea, and I do love chai tea. So I definitely have caffeine in the morning too. But I always make sure to have lemon ginger tea at some point in the day. What if it's not in the morning, I'll have it afternoon after my like an hour after my largest meal of the day. Um, so yeah, lemon ginger tea is definitely part of my daily. Probably not. I wouldn't say my morning because I do love my caffeines, my coffee or tea. But I do drink lemon ginger tea every day. Um, the tongue scraping though is definitely in the morning. Sun salutations and movement is definitely helpful if best done in the morning. Um, and yeah, the body oils is also great done in the morning because it just gets your body started on a great level. And then as far as like while you're doing this body massage, doing these oils, um, nourishing both your skin and your muscles and your lymph nodes, just everything. You can also do, this is a great time for like positive affirmations. This is a great time for being like my body butter that I make, I put it in a jar that says love and gratitude. That way, as soon as I grab the jar, I'm already thinking love and gratitude. So a lot of times as I start, I go, I have love and gratitude for my body, for all the things it's done for me in the past, all it'll do for me today, all it does for me in this moment, and all it'll continue to do for me in the future. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Very, very simple, maybe weird, but like also it's true, you know? And like everybody, if you're alive today, should probably say that to your body, you know? And like think about how happy your body and your cells are and how loved and supported they feel when we physically say it because as we know, words and vibration and our intentions and our consciousness and our mind does have a direction and a direct impact on our surroundings and on physical objects. This is a fact. It's called the observer effect, and also, yeah, this is also like law of attraction. This is why that works because like if you consistently apply yourself for one thing, there's no choice but for it to show up in your existence. So anyway, um, doing these positive affirmations, and maybe if you're having a hard time, if your body is maybe not in its most optimum health, and you'd like it to be, um, again, starting here by thanking it for everything it's done for you in the past. Because no matter what, you're here right now. You're listening to this podcast. So it's gotten you this far. So like you can say thanks for that at least. Because like I know for fucking sure there's like more times than I can count on my hands that I probably could have, and I don't want to say should have, but easily could have died, and my body did not give up on me, or it pulled through for me, you know, and and or like just shut down and given up on me completely. I know that sounds terrible as I like hack up a lung. I'm sorry. Um, but again, words are powerful. So as I talk about my body giving up on me completely, it like starts coughing and all these things. I don't find that to be coincidental. But anyway, but being like, thank you, body, for all of the health and all of the things you've gotten me through. And holy crap, I can't believe we've made it this far. This is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then also to take that time to be like, and thank you for this present day. And thank you for all that you'll continue to do for me in the future. I like to use that one too, because that also like preps your body for continual wealth and continual health. You know, I say wealth because health is wealth, truly. We can't do shit without our health. You can't enjoy anything without your health. So we have to have health at the first and foremost. And then everything else comes after that, you know. It comes much easier after that too. So as long as we can work on our health, everything else after that can come much easier. And we'll be able to enjoy it on a much more full level. So health is wealth, and thanking our body for longevity already is a great way to prep ourselves for that and to say, yeah, thank you for everything you'll continue to do for me in the future. So that is a good one I love to do while doing body oils or body lotion. You can also, if you're not a lotion person, if you're like, I'm a kapha and I'm already kind of oily, I'm not really a lotion human. You can switch it up. Do this in the shower while you're washing, while you're scrubbing your body, because that's again like a full body thing where you're touching everywhere and you're kind of paying attention to everywhere. At least I hope you are. And you can do the same thing and give gratitude for your whole body. And like I was about to say, you can also like throw some charms in there, you know, if you're having heart problems or if you're having kidney issues or if you have mental issues or thyroid issues or whatever you have, you know, you can speak into existence the healing of that, you know. And thank you for healing my thyroid, for my optimum health. And thank you for healing my heart. And thank you for healing my blood. Thank you for healing my mind. Thank you for healing my emotions. Thank you for relaxing into ease. Thank you for um, relaxing into this moment. Thank you for taking a deep breath. Whatever it is, just whatever it is you're having a hard time doing or a hard time achieving, thanking yourself for doing that already while appreciating your body is extremely fucking powerful. Extremely fucking powerful, my friends. So don't sleep on that one. Seriously. Talk to any Olympic coach. They will tell you that like the self-talk and the visualization and stuff is key. And so that's kind of part of this too, is like visualizing um, and sending yourself health, especially to specific targeted areas if you're having trouble there. So don't sleep on that one. Um, and then last but not least, this one is more of, again, a physical aspect because I like to give you something fun to do too. Especially if you need just a little extra pizzazz or a little extra kick. Um, but Kapalabhati, or Breath of Fire, is a great one for overall health and wellness and giving you a boost of energy. So this can be really helpful if you've been feeling overly lethargic and you're like, I just need to get energy, but I don't want to get up, and I know getting up and exercising and getting up and going for a walk or whatever would give me energy, but I don't even have the energy for that. I just want to sit here and somehow get energy. How do I do that? This is how you do that. This is how you do that, my friend. Kapalabhati is great for, um, basically the science behind it is recycling all the air out of your lungs, that because when we breathe in and out, we don't ever empty our lungs. Our lungs never collapse on themselves, obviously. So like there's still always some residual air or CO2 or whatever gaseous makeup that hangs out in the lungs with every single breath. And hopefully we cycle through this naturally because we're taking even and deep breaths. But let's face it, most of us aren't. So to help kind of make sure that we get all of that stale, old, gross gas out of our lungs, Kapalabhati is basically that big full cleanse on the inside. And so the only things I'll say is don't do this if you're pregnant, because it can, like, I don't know, I feel like it's jolting for babies, so just don't do it. I don't feel like I ever did it when I was pregnant. And also you don't need to be raising your heart rate or getting super energetic when you're like pregnant, so chill out. Why don't you go take a nap, pregnant person? Um, or like you should just take a gentle walk. Don't do anything crazy. And or pregnant people, sorry, I forgot to mention this, but I did just release a new prenatal yoga video on my YouTube channel. So go check out holistichathayoga.com. And instead of doing Kapalabhati, go do that prenatal yoga video. So there, look at that, full circle. One of my best friends forever is pregnant right now, and so she was the inspiration. She was like, please make me something. And I was like, yes, I got you. I'm so excited. So that is out there for you as well. So go enjoy that for free on YouTube. Anyway, back to Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati can be practiced if you're not pregnant and if you're not on your period. Again, we don't want to be like going crazy on our abdominal area when we're bleeding like crazy and our uterus is already going through a lot of shit. So again, go take a nap if you're bleeding like crazy and or just bleeding at all. Like just skip this part. And or put it like listen but just don't do it. Put it in your back pocket, save it for another day when you need energy. Anyway, so basically with Kapalabhati, and I think again I have a video on my YouTube channel with this, so go check that out. But you can basically it's a forced exhale with our abs, like you really like force it out, and usually it's through the nostrils. So it's I don't know if you'll be able to hear me via on this, but I'll try. So you take a deep inhale and then you like just force that exhale, and then as soon as you release the abs with that exhale, you kind of automatically take a breath in because like with that release, like air just naturally then fills the lungs because it's a vacuum. Um, and then you just rapidly take that exhale again, that forced exhale. So then you try to do like 20 to 30 of these forced exhales in a row, and you try to do this like 3 times in a row. Take a small break in between, a few even breaths, and then do your next round. So that sounds something like this, if you can hear this at all. Take a deep breath in. So I don't know if you could hear that, but it's basically just like a rapid pulling of the abs. And again, I believe there's a YouTube video, so go check that out. And if not, I will add a new one this week, and you can double check by the end of the week, and there will be a new one if there's not one already. But I believe that this is also listed under Ultimate Stress Relieving Yoga Practice on my YouTube channel because it's also that. It is a great stress reliever. So, Kapalabhati is a great, doesn't need to be every day, but this one is a great one if you need a reset. If you need a full energy reset, which again, in this fucking day and age, who doesn't need a full energy reset every now and then? So keep that one in your pocket for when you need to really just recycle everything, start over, and you need to kind of like, um, it's called skull shining in Hindi too, is like the whole Kapalabhati thing, this breath fire. Um, but, uh, because, and they say skull shining because like, yeah, it like basically makes you brighter, it makes your light shine brighter. And it kind of, it feels that way. Like literally your vision feels sharper. Your senses feel sharper. Everything feels sharper after doing this practice. And literally it takes under 5 minutes and it's really crazy. Bizarro, actually. But it's amazing. It's an amazing tool. And this is why it's an ancient passed down tool from generation to generation that humans have used for thousands of years because it fucking works. And there's no side effects and it's free. So there's nothing to sell you in it. It's literally just knowing the technique and doing it and knowing when to practice it, knowing when not to practice it because the same medicine can also do harm. If you do this when you're already hyperventilating, about to freak out, have a panic attack, you're going to go into a full-blown panic attack. You should not do Kapalbhati or this skull shining or breath of fire, whatever you want to call it. You should not be doing it if you're already super heightened and are like, I'm about to freak out. This is going to make you freak out. This is going to push you over the edge. This, like I said, is a cure for lethargy. This is for when you need energy. This is for when you're so dull and you don't know what to do and you're just like, ugh, I just need to like naturally come alive. This is when you use it, you know. If you're on the flip side, if you are about to hyperventilate, doing slow, long breaths is more going to be your jam. That's going to help bring you into the state that you need to be in. It's going to bring you from your fight or flight to your rest and digest. So do that instead. So, anyway, I feel like I have ranted along on this episode. I really was like, this is going to be nice and short, like 30 minutes tops. And here we go. It's been, I think, been an hour on the dot. So, what a lovely hour. Thank you. Thank you for spending the time with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed the time here. And yeah, I hope you found something helpful here. Whether it's the tongue scraper, don't sleep on that. Seriously, that's the simplest and easiest thing you can do. And again, it adds like nothing to your time in the day. Hopefully you already brush your teeth daily, and this is going to add like another one more minute to that whole routine. So that's a super easy one. And yeah, I hope you find some nuggets in here that you will take with you into your daily life. So yeah, with that, I will sign off. One love, one light, my friends. Take care. I mean that in every sense of the word. Please take care. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Help each other. Help your neighbors. We all need each other in this time. I truly believe that. And we all need to be moving with our highest light in mind, and that will keep everyone else's highest light in mind. And we need to move from a place of love, you know, and compassion and just knowing what's right and wrong and fierce, um, I wanted to say defending, but I don't want to say defending because we don't want to be on any sort of defense. It's more of an offense that we're on right now. We are attacking with light. So be the light out there, my friends. Please, please, please spread light, spread love, um, spread joy, spread growth. Plant a seed in the springtime. If you're in the southern hemisphere, don't plant seeds. It's not the time. But anyway, yeah. One love, my friends. We'll talk soon. Namaste. Hey, one more quick thing. I know meditation can be a really hard thing for anyone and everyone. It seems like that's the biggest thing that people ask me. It's like, how can you just sit there? How can you just sit there? You know, and so with that, I have since created something for you, and I'm very excited about it. But I've talked about mantras and how to practice mantra meditation, and how the best way to do that is with a mala and do 108 chants of whatever mantra it is that you want to practice or embody or be blessed by. And yeah, and that's really like one of the best, easiest ways to meditate because it gives you something to do both with your hand as you're going through the mala bead and with your voice as you speak the chant, and with your mind as you kind of keep your mind locked on this chant. And so, yes, your mind still may try to wander, but it's much harder to wander when it's basically on a leash. The mantra acts more or less as a leash for our mind. Basically, when we sit in silence, it can be a lot easier for the mental chatter to jump in. And that's totally natural. And so I also want to preface it with mental chatter is what we call the monkey mind, and it's totally natural. So if you experience that while you're trying to practice meditation, you are not alone. You are not a freak. You're not a psycho. You are, you are literally just a human like the rest of us. So, um, yes, I hope that that's not the reason why it deters you. It might be the reason why you find it difficult, but also that's part of it. That's just all part of it, and we get around it, and I can show you how to do that too. But anyway, um, for the easiest, closest, lowest hanging fruit, because low hanging fruit is still fruit, my friend. I created a couple, and I have a couple other in my back pocket, but these two are actually available for you right now on my website. There are a couple mantra meditations. One of them is just an Om mantra meditation, and the other one is a Ganesha mantra meditation. Both of them, they repeat the mantra 108 times exactly, and it ends right after the 108 with a little closeout of Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And so the Om one is a very basic, just the word Om, a very beginner friendly, very like easy for you to chant along as well if you'd like, or you can just sit in the vibration of it and listen to it and kind of tie your mind to that to help keep the monkey mind away, um, or at bay at least a little bit. Um, and then the other one is the Ganesha mantra, which Ganesha is the Lord of Obstacles. And so he's famous for both removing and placing obstacles in our way for our betterment and growth of our highest self. And so we can always call upon Lord Ganesha if we feel that we have obstacles that we need removed, because he will give us the strength and kind of the wisdom to tap into our own higher self to either completely remove the obstacle or move around the obstacle. Um, and that mantra is chanted 108 times as well. And so, like I said, you're free to either just sit in the vibration of it and just listen while you meditate with it, or you can speak along with it, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Um, It is very simple. There is no music in the background. It is literally just me going Om, Om, like literally 108 times, and same with the Ganesha mantra. Um, and so it is not supposed to be, what do I want to say? Like kind of fancy, I guess. Like you walk into these yoga studios these days, and there's always like background music, always to every class and everything. And not to say I'm a hater against background music, I love it, it's great, but that's definitely not traditional, and it's definitely not really what you're supposed to do. Like, truly, you should not have music because music is distracting, and we need to be on our mat, and we need to be with our breath and with our body and with our mind on our mat. And if we are listening to music, we are transporting, and it's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to go within, not transport without. So, anyway, so this is not a fancy one. There is no like fun flute playing in the background and fancy music. Like, this is a traditional chanting mantra meditation. And so I'm not trying to intimidate you either. I'm just trying to tell you exactly what it is, so you have no preconceived or like no misconceptions, I guess, of what it is. Um, But I thought it would be super helpful, because then it takes the counting out of your hands. You don't have to have a mala, and then it also sets your meditation time. So you might be like 108 times. That's a lot. That probably takes like 3 hours. Like actually, it's 10 minutes. So the Om one is, yeah, I think about 10 minutes, and I think the other one runs about 10 or 11 minutes as well. So they're not long meditations at all. If you're like, ooh, I want to add a meditation, but I don't know how, this is a great way to add a meditation into your life without really having to um, have to do too much other than just hit play, sit, and just go in. Go all in. Close your eyes and go within and just rest in the vibration. And then when it's done, when it stops playing, you know you're done and you come out. And so, yeah, I thought it would be super fun, and I had a lot of fun creating them. So I love them. I'm really excited to share them with you. And yeah, they're available on my website. Now you're probably like, oh my gosh, this is the big pitch. How much are they? $4.99, my friend. It's super cheap. Super cheap. I wanted to make it super attainable for anybody. This is like essentially a cup of coffee at your local coffee shop. Um, and it is a automatic free download. It's just an MP3 audio, so it'll just go to your downloads file, and you can play it as much as you want, whenever you want, forever, whenever. It's yours forever. One payment. So, yeah, if you are feeling inclined to add a meditation practice to your weekly rituals, I highly encourage it. And if you want some help there, try this out. Try this mantra meditations out. One or the other, or both. If you're feeling frisky and wild, go for it. And yeah, let me know. Let me know how you feel. Let me know how you feel afterwards. Let me know what you think. Let me know all of the things. So, yeah, I invite you over there. My website is holistichathyoga.com, and those are under my yoga courses, or at home yoga, I think is what I have it listed at. And yeah, just those little audios there. And like I said, they're just $4.99. It's an automatic download, and it's yours forever, my friend. So take care and one love. Go grab those if you feel inclined. And yeah, happy meditating. One love. Bye. Om Loka Samista Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om